Hi everyone, these are brownies. Let's bake some brownies. In the closet kitchen. The first thing I've done is turn the oven on to 350 degrees. I've moved the oven rack so it's right in the middle of the oven. Right here, I have an 8x8 glass baking dish. You can use the appropriate baking dish that you have, as long as it's an 8x8 pan. What I've done is I just lightly buttered it, and then scooped a bit of flour, tapped off the excess flour, cut up a dark chocolate bar. This is roughly 10 ounces of dark chocolate, or 150 grams, and I've scattered the chocolate bits onto the bottom of the baking pan. As you can see, I have a medium-sized pot on the stove. Just use whatever tool you have on hand that will work to mix up the ingredients. I'm going to turn the stove on to medium heat. In this pot, I have a half of a cup of butter. I use salted butter. Feel free to use unsalted butter, of course. As well, I have a quarter of a cup of vegetable oil. It melted. Now, I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 1 cup of white sugar, and a half of a cup of cocoa powder, unsweetened cocoa powder. Here I have 2 large eggs. I've whisked them up a little bit, and I'm just going to dump them in. Whisk that up. Here I have 1 cup of all-purpose flour. I like to put this through a sifter as well. A quarter of a teaspoon of salt, a quarter of a teaspoon of baking powder, and a quarter of a teaspoon of espresso powder. The espresso powder will heighten the flavor of the chocolate. Little lumps. And mix this all together. Turn the heat off. Place the brownie mixture into your prepared pan over top of those dark chocolate bits. Spread the mixture over evenly. You can use a spatula or a spoon, whatever you have. I like to give the pan a few shakes. Ready for the oven. While the brownies cool, let's mix up our frosting. In this bowl I have 4 tablespoons of melted butter, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 4 tablespoons of unsweetened cocoa powder, 1/8 of a teaspoon of espresso powder, and 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. Here I have 1 cup of sifted icing sugar. I like to sift the icing sugar to avoid any lumps getting in our beautiful icing. I'll just start by adding a half of the icing sugar. Over here, I have 2 tablespoons of cream. You can use heavy cream, whipping cream, half and half. You can even use milk. It's just going to make this a little bit easier to mix up. Add half of the amount of cream. The icing is ready, but we have to wait for the brownies to cool first, and then we can ice them. Now that the brownies have cooled, I'll top them with the icing. When it comes to cutting the brownies, I like to loosen them slightly, just around the edges, with a butter knife. And then cut into squares. Enjoy. See you again next time.